We are a welcoming lay-led spiritual community, moving together in time and an open search for truth and meaning. We believe in people's inherent capacity to lead ethical lives of personal fulfillment, pursuing the good of humanity. Reminder, this service is being both live streamed and recorded. Anything you say will therefore be publicly available online. If you are visiting us today, we welcome you. We're very excited to have Karen Misseldine joining us today. Karen is an art therapist and will lead us in a practice of art therapy. I hope you have some paper and drawing or coloring materials handy, as we will be using them later in the service. Even the back of an envelope can work. If you are visiting us today, please note you can receive our weekly electronic newsletter by going to decorahuu.org/contact us. You can learn more about Unitarian Universalism at uua.org. Announcements. You know what? I didn't ask anyone to read the announcements, but I'm going to ask Karen Esterol if she will be our announcement reader. And for the sake of those who may be joining us by audio only, Karen will read the announcements if she is willing. If not, I can do that.
I am willing. Hold on one moment.
Thank you, Karen.
Sure. Yeah, so just a reminder that next week there will not be a service as we continue with our every other Sundays. And just so everybody knows, I think the current plan is that we're actually going to continue every other Sundays, even after we get through the summer. As long as we're in this Zoom format, it seems like it might make sense to stay that way. We'll let you know if that changes, but for now, just plan on every other. It sounds like somebody needs to be muted, so hearing some background noise there. Hold on one second. Okay, can y'all still hear me? Yes, okay, great. The next time that we gather will be August 30th, The Power of Local Media Telling Stories of Social Change and Democracy. And local journalist for the Decorah newspapers, Julie Berg-Raymond, will be sharing why local newspapers are essential for democracy and why she prioritizes covering stories of race and equality. And then again, on September 6th, we're not going to have service, but September 13th, we're going to have a very special in-person gathering, outdoor, physically distanced, masked, very careful. First time that we will be seeing each other face to face, those of us who can feel comfortable coming, in 25 weeks. Otherwise, we're going to continue to have our services via Zoom. But, every year we've had this practice of gathering at Twin Springs and having a water communion to welcome in our new liturgical year. And we discussed with the board whether it would be okay for us to do that this year, as long as we adhere to a lot of different precautions. And they said, yes, we are doing this, assuming that we're going to plateau or decline in cases in Wenatchee County, which has not happened yet, but I am hopeful over the next couple of weeks that Wenatchee County can start doing what they need to do so that we're not seeing new cases at an increased level from previous weeks. So a lot of us probably haven't been traveling as much this summer, but even if it's just in spirit that you've been traveling, you can bring a sample of water from a place that is special to you, a beach, a spring, a kitchen sink, and then we'll combine our waters and tell our stories. Carl Peterson is actually going to be leading, but maybe leading with other people's help. And we're going to share more logistical details as far as making sure that we keep this as safe as possible as we get closer to the date itself. Also, one of the things that we do every year is in the winter, we have an auction that benefits not only our own congregation, but also the Low Income Heating Assistance Program. And clearly this year's auction is going to be different since this will be a virtual auction, but we're going to try it. Julie Odie is helping to coordinate this. And so a lot of people may be spending this time cleaning out your garages and, doing all sorts of house cleaning. We want to make sure that y'all don't just ship all that stuff off to the depot or throw things out or take it to the recycling center. If you think it's something that other people might enjoy and would be a good contender for the auction, hold on to it because we will be doing that in probably early December. And you can contact either Julie at littleredkayak@gmail.com about that, or Carolyn Corbin, carolyn@corbingroup.biz. Other announcements include things that we've talked about multiple times before, like the fact that we can provide one another support, and Otter Dreaming is a good contact for that. We also have ongoing UU circles. If you are not connected to a UU circle, please contact Sue Audie if you have questions or comments, sueaudie@gmail.com or 563-419-5396. The next meeting of the board is Tuesday, September 1st, 7 p.m. via Zoom. And I think everything else is stuff that we have talked about before or that we will talk about, like how to continue to support the congregation financially during this distanced time. So I think I can turn it back over to Carolyn.
Oh, Karen, I could listen to you do announcements all day long. I have one more announcement, and that is I am hosting a pop-up post-service chat time starting at 11:15 today and going for about 45 minutes or however long we like. If you would like to join me for chat time after service, please type your email in the chat, and I will send you a Zoom link for post-service pop-up coffee time after this service. Are there any other announcements someone would like to add? Please raise your hand, or I think we're small enough you could probably just unmute yourself.
Just a reminder that if you're raising your hand, that's via participants raise hand, not just in the video, because I don't know about Carolyn, but I can't see everybody at once. It looks like Jean has unmuted herself.
I just want to remind the group, maybe you've heard this, they're collecting supplies at the Chick Hatchery. Thank you for sending down to Cedar Rapids if anybody has supplies needed. Otter sent out a message yesterday. Thank you.
Thanks for that reminder. And one of the things, Ann Glenn White and I were in the same social space last night, and Ann was making the observation that a lot of the times it seems better to send money in case of a catastrophe like this, but it might actually be better to send supplies because their stores are running out of the supplies that they need for people to be able to buy. So among the different things that they talked about were like tarps, flashlights with batteries, non-perishable food items, etc. So if anybody, I'll try to post in the chat momentarily more details about that.
Thank you, Jean. Thank you, Karen, for the extra info. Yeah, that was a very bad event down there. I didn't even realize until, I still have friends in Iowa City without power, so it really knocks some stuff down. Are there any other announcements? Today's service relates to our second UU principle, justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. And now it is time for the lighting of the chalice. Nancy will be lighting the chalice. Please remain muted, but read the chalice lighting along with Nancy Berry.
Today's chalice lighting is by Martha Kirby Capo. For some, the chalice cup is a communion cup, freely offered to all who would seek the greater truth. Others see the circle of fellowship in its embracing sides, the sacred hoop of its rim, the ambient energy cradled in its basin, the abiding grounded strength of its pedestal. May all be lit by the fire of spiritual integrity, so too may we each be bathed in the glow of our shared truth, multifaceted and radiant.
Thank you, Nancy. And our opening song will be My Life Flows On, an Endless Song, sung by our own Lali Madriguera. Please remain muted while we sing along in our homes.
My life flows on in endless song, above earth's lamentation. I hear the real, though far off hymn that hails a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? What though the tempest round me roars? I know the truth it liveth. What though the darkness round me close? Songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. Since love prevails in heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble as they hear the bells of freedom ringing, when friends rejoice both far and near, how can I keep from singing? To prison cell and dungeon vile, our thoughts to them are winging. When friends by shame are undefiled, how can I keep from singing?
That was wonderful. Thank you, Lali. To hear straight from the voices of our own members, that singing voice is a real gem. And sometimes we don't even appreciate it in person, but to be able to hear it through the Zoom seems even more precious. Thank you. Now is the time for our land acknowledgement. With this land acknowledgement, our congregation is engaged in a practice of truth-telling and reconciliation. As part of this practice, we acknowledge that Northeast Iowa was home to the Iowa or Baksoche, the Sac and Fox or Meskwaki, the Dakota, and the Ho-Chunk, peoples whose relationship to this land continues today. Even today, Indigenous people are fighting the federal government, who continues to threaten their land. Please pause with me for a moment as we commit our hearts to uplifting, standing with, listening to, and following the lead of our Indigenous brothers and sisters. Thank you. This is the time in our service when we invite anyone who wishes to do so to share with us a personal joy, concern, or milestone in your life. Again, please raise your hand with the raise hand feature, and we will give phone-only participants an opportunity first off. So if you're phone or audio only, please *6 yourself to unmute, and you will go first. I don't see any audio only. Are there any joys or concerns? And please just go ahead and raise your hand and we will recognize you. Carrie, you're unmuted. Do you want to go ahead and go?
Yeah, I don't know why, but I don't see the raised hand thing on my computer, so that's why I raised my physical hand. Karen had already mentioned this before we got started, but I don't know if some people might not have seen the email. But I had started a job a few weeks ago, and I wasn't well prepared to. They were starting me from home, and all the training was happening from home, and it just wasn't working out that way. The training was not very well prepared, and I was only able to do it for about 3 days, and I was going to see if I could go into the office because they told me they were going to have a mask policy that would be changing where they would be wearing the mask 100% of the time. But the boss said that was not the case. And I don't feel comfortable right now being in an area where people are only intermittently masked. So I'm not doing the job anymore. And that was very hurtful and painful because it had been 15 years since I worked. And so it felt like I made such an accomplishment only to have it taken away so soon. But I'm feeling better now. And I realized that my work I did a good job at what I was able to do. And so it's not a question of whether I'm able to work, because I am able to work. It's just that the timing wasn't right with this pandemic, and things will get better. And I don't want to go on too much longer, but I wanted to make a shout out for the first Black female and Indian American vice presidential nominee. I'm really excited about that.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you. I see Sue Adi has her hand raised. Can you unmute, Sue?
Yes, indeed. I would like to call attention to a concern that I have. I think many of us have it. We are in a very fragile place in our democracy right now. There are being many different assaults from different directions happening. And I wanted to call attention also, if you have your UU World magazine around, the back of it talks about UU the vote. I realize it shows up backwards on the screen, but UU the vote. Unitarian Universalists understand this is a critical election and we all need to be involved. However you feel comfortable being involved, please take this opportunity to protect our very fragile democracy. I'm particularly concerned about our post office and the assaults that have happened on that. I'm not sure when the time is right for us to take some more direct action. Whoever knows, until we look back historically at a time, we don't know what we should have been doing often. So please stay alert, aware, keep informed with good, objective news, and let's all make sure that we keep this democracy, which is so precious to us and to our own UU community as well.
Yes, thank you, Sue. Are there any other joys or concerns? If none, I now light a virtual candle for joys or concerns that are unspoken, but that remain in our hearts and minds. Please join me in a moment of communal silent meditation. Please remain muted, but join me in singing the response printed in your bulletin. wonderful recording by our own Otter Dreaming. It's now time for the offering. Please grab a pen if you're looking for a way to give. Even as we are meeting via Zoom, we continue to require the gracious gifts of our members and friends to support our congregation. If you can and if you would like to give, please visit decorahuu.org and click the Give Online button. Or you may mail your check to Decorah UU, P.O. Box 382, Decorah, Iowa 52101. That's P.O. Box 382. Note that part of our fellowship's commitment and outreach to our community is to support worthy organizations. This month's Share the Plate recipient is Collective Action for Racial Equity. To find out more about Collective Action for Racial Equity, you may send an email of inquiry to myself, Carolyn Corbin, carolyn@corbingroup.biz, or to Otter Dreaming. If you'd like to donate to the recipient, you can designate so on your check or click Share the Plate if donating at decorahuu.org. In honor of the ways we support our congregation and our community, we will now sing the offertory. Please keep your microphones muted, but sing along as at home as we play the piano music Otter Dreaming has kindly recorded for us. Lolly, can you unmute yourself? And Lolly will do the next reading for us.
This is a poem called The Guest House by Rumi. This being human is a guest house. Every morning is a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house of all its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes because each has been sent as a guide from beyond.
Thank you, Lolly.
You're welcome.
Please gather your art supplies, your paper, pencils, colors, and paints as I introduced our art therapist for today. Collective creative care for compassion in these troubled and uncertain times while reckoning with racism and pandemic. Timely. Karen Misseldine is a licensed mental health counselor and registered art therapist with certification in EMDR and mindfulness cognitive therapy. For over 25 years, Karen has been honored to hear stories and to have the privilege to creatively collaborate with individuals on their path to health and healing and living life more fully. Karen provides individuals, couples, family, and group therapy at Art Therapy Counseling and at Northeast Iowa Behavioral Health. All this is through telehealth, video, or phone therapy during the COVID pandemic. And yes, art therapy is possible through these platforms. I know you will join me in warmly welcoming our guest art therapist, Karen Misseldine. Karen?
Hello, and good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for having me here. It's so fun to see all the faces. that I know that are here with us today. So yeah, thank you, Carolyn, for sharing that, because that's what we're going to dive right into today. So throwing out these words of trying to be courageous and together here in this collective creative care, and we can feel all together here collectively as we dive into this. And some of you may already feel some discomfort thinking about, okay, art materials, blank paper. So I just want to invite you to notice that and turn toward that feeling maybe of discomfort. Some of you may be just super excited that we get a chance to do this. But so diving right in to stay awake, to attend, to engage, to listen, to respond. Just want to speak myself as a white cisgender woman of privilege. I take for granted my comfort and, somehow feel it's my right. And so this is my challenge that I'm working with, and to just begin to notice that and somehow use that in a way to turn toward discomfort and allow discomfort and the way that I'm reckoning with these things in my life, and how can I move forward and help others, help myself, and practicing turning toward discomfort and holding compassion for ourselves and others at the same time. So I'm going to dive in and share with you this mindfulness-based cognitive therapy meditation that I have been weaving in art with as I'm working with my clients, and then you can get a taste of this. So explaining just a little bit of this, of what we're going to be doing. We're going to do this meditation, and then after that, I'm going to invite you to use any art materials, and Carolyn said it just right, a back of an envelope, a brown paper sack, anything that you have in front of you, pencil, crayon, whatever is there for you. Simple, and just a way to express this meditation after you experience it. And then I will give a little bit more direction after the meditation. So this meditation is called 3-minute breathing space, and it comes from the mindfulness-based cognitive therapy. And it is in the form of an hourglass, this meditation. So, and it's in 3 parts. So the top part is about becoming aware. And then the center part that gets smaller is about gathering your focus, and it's gathering it to your breath. And then the second part is the wider, expanding awareness again. So kind of keeping that in your mind and also letting it go as we do this meditation. And knowing that with meditations, you're going to hear some things and you're not going to take it all in. So just allow yourself to relax with it, and whatever you resonate with, that's what's going to be there. And what it is a practice. So, and it's not a meditation for relaxation. It's a meditation to become alert and to be present with whatever arises. Whatever our experience is, whatever it is. And it's to hold all of this at the same time. Notice the discomfort, allow maybe some comfort to come in, but holding it all at the same time. So if you have paper and stuff, I'm going to show you these again, but what you can use on your paper is a body form on your paper, or even just a circle, or just the plain blank paper. So if you want to take a second to put something on your paper like that before we get started, or you can wait until after the meditation as well and see how you are, whatever draws you. Okay, as I begin, bring your attention to your experience just right now. Perhaps as you notice any discomfort, thinking about racism, thinking about whiteness if you happen to be white, thinking about this time of COVID, just allow yourself to bring to mind any discomfort. If it has to do with those things or anything else right now. So just be with that. Take a moment to just be with that discomfort. And now as we hold this space together collectively, I'm going to move into the breathing space. In step 1 of this 3-minute breathing space, becoming aware. Becoming aware of this very moment by deliberately adopting an erect and dignified posture, whether you're sitting or standing, and then allowing your eyes to close if you feel comfortable. Or if you prefer, you can have your eyes soft with a steady gaze. Feeling yourself in your body, feeling your feet on the earth, feeling your body in the chair. And when you're ready, bringing your attention to your inner experience, perhaps asking, what is my experience right now? What thoughts are going through the mind? As best you can, acknowledging thoughts as mental events. Perhaps putting words to those thoughts and just noticing them as words and allowing those words to float by like clouds in the sky. What feelings are here? Turn toward any sense of emotional discomfort or unpleasant feelings. Just acknowledge them, notice them. Don't try to change them. What body sensations are here right now? Perhaps quickly taking a body scan from head to toe, picking up on any sensations of tightness or resistance, and acknowledge them. Just notice. Again, not trying to change them, just noticing. And now in step 2, gently redirecting your attention, gathering your focus to the breath at the belly. Feeling the sensations in the abdominal wall as it expands with each in-breath and falls back with each out-breath. As best you can, following your breath all the way in and all the way out. Using breath itself to anchor you in the present moment. And now in step 3, expanding your field of awareness around your breathing so that in addition to the sense of the breath at the belly, it includes the whole body. Noticing your posture, noticing your facial expression. What are they like from the inside? If you become aware of any sense of discomfort or tension or resistance, go ahead and experiment gently with breathing into them on the in-breath and breathing out from them on the out-breath. Perhaps feeling a softening or a gentle releasing with each out-breath. And now, if you'd like, perhaps saying to yourself with each out-breath, it's already here. Whatever it is, it's already here. Let me feel it. And now, as best you can, bringing this more expanded, spacious awareness to the rest of our time here together and the rest of the moments of your day. Slowly coming back to this space together with me and together with everyone here today, letting the light of the room into your eyes and reorienting yourself to your space and to all of us here. Maybe even just taking another breath, being back in your body. So in the bulletin, I think people were invited, if you want to have some music playing in the background, but if you choose to do that, then keep your mic muted, or you can choose silence. I notice some people are outside and you can be with the sounds of nature and allow that to, be in the background as you go ahead and use some art supplies. I have oil pastels, different kinds here. I've got pencils. You can just, if you chose to do a body form, anybody hold up your materials that you have, whatever you have. You can do a cookie cutter shaped body form. There is no right or wrong here when it comes to doing art for art therapy. Don't let the word art get in your way. It can be a scribbled circle. You can start with a circle or just a blank page. And allow yourself, using lines, shapes, color, just to put any kind of expression on that paper, to put down the experience of whatever you experienced in this meditation. Again, knowing that there's no right or wrong. Your form might take shape of an hourglass. And also, as you're working, taking a breath occasionally, notice any discomfort. Does this feel strange? Does this feel awkward? Or does it feel like a release? Whatever's happening for you, just notice. Noticing the movement of your hand, noticing the lines and shapes as they emerge on the page. And perhaps if you would like, take a breath, let it go, and kind of step back just a little bit and see what's happening on that page. And if you're comfortable, or maybe even not comfortable, you could maybe give a peek about what's happening, what's going on so far. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then go ahead and go back and just take, I don't know, Carolyn, how much time? Maybe a couple more minutes for the art? Okay.
Yeah, we have a few more minutes if you want.
A few more? Okay, because we want time to share and to talk at the end. So go ahead and know that you have a couple more minutes to get to a place, of, it's not going to feel like completion because none of this is ever completed. To a place where you feel like you can stop for now. Being in the moment, noticing whatever arises. Like in the guest house, welcoming it all. Being grateful for whatever comes. Because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Our sorrows. Any awarenesses, our joys. Holding them all at the same time. The dark and the light. Maybe as you come to a stopping point, begin to think about how you imagine this experience to help us stay awake, to help us turn toward discomfort and care for ourselves and each other with compassion at the same time. How can it help us listen and respond? How can it help us to just be? Okay, so welcoming everyone back. All right, I am going to challenge everyone to be courageous and, show maybe a little bit of what your experience was on that paper. If you don't mind holding those up, we can take a moment to see this gallery of expression from this experience. Okay. Yeah. Maybe other people are still doing their art or are feeling shy. And that's okay too. So however you want to join in with this. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Can I pin your video and have you show your artwork? Yeah.
I'm sorry, say that again, Carolyn.
Sue Adi, can you show your artwork and I'll pin it so that it gets recorded? Yeah, I can see that.
Okay. Yeah.
And did anybody else want to share? Karen Estrel?
I'm okay. I'm still in progress right now.
No pressure.
I don't need it to be immortalized.
Is anybody else willing to show your? I can't click. Let's see. I have to click over here.
Okay, there's
Jean DeWitt. Hang on. Let me pin your video.
Jean.
Yeah, make sure you get Beth Wahlberg's too.
Good job, Jean. In just a minute, Beth, I'll have you show.
Thanks for your yours. For sharing.
Very nice.
Okay.
Did I miss anybody who wanted to share?
So, as we're doing that, any thoughts, about how is this going to help us turn toward discomfort so we can be more courageous? But any thoughts about this, or just even put that question aside, and what are your thoughts or experiences with this?
I know. I'd love to hear from Sue or Beth or anybody who showed us too.
This is Jean.
Great.
Mine is full of anger. It's like I feel like the world has been torn apart.
Okay.
So mine's just black and white, a lot of anger, and it took me a long time to get started on it.
Okay, Jean, thank you for sharing that with me.
But also right here, I think that I've spent a lot more time with Greg and it's gotten us closer. So there's a positive there.
Okay. So holding all of that together in this mandala, in this circle, the anger and that joy and positivity at the same time. And then recognizing, maybe noticing where that is in your body and how do you tend to that with compassion and hold it. Yeah. Thank you, Jean.
I started out with some pretty sharp lines, pretty pointy lines, because those points kind of, they kind of get that anger in there. And then as I worked with it, I started softening up the anger and the sharpness, and sort of started to feel it just become a little warmer, and it just felt a little more compassionate toward my own sharp sides.
And my projection on that, Sue, so if I see something, it's my projection, it comes from within me, I see a bird.
Uh-huh. There you go. Yeah. That could be. Yeah.
But that was so the angles together with the softening, and there feels to me movement. And another practice with doing art therapy and working in this kind of way is using your body as well to kind of move to what you see on your paper. What are these lines feeling like? Oh. Does anybody have any thoughts about how they imagine this to help us move forward?
Yeah, I would love to hear from Beth Wahlberg with her beautiful turtle drawing.
Well, I started out with this chaos here, just feeling like all these things are going on and tuning out because I can't handle it. And then the purple was, I have strength and I have bravery and I can handle it. I can sort through it all and get through it all. And then this was more the one that they look like ovaries, but I don't know if that means anything. This was like organizing the chaos. And then I don't know, somehow I saw an interview with the man who wrote Old Turtle yesterday. So I think that's where the turtle came from, but also it's just I'm just part of the bigger world. And to keep that in perspective too, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Thank you, Beth, for sharing that. And so a lot of evolving as well, starting with the chaos and the discomfort and all of that. And I'm thinking about, I just want to tune all this out. And that was in part of my notes too when I was thinking about all this, is that it's so easy to be numb and to be comfortable in our okay, easy for me. I don't see everybody on the screen. I don't know what's going on for everyone. It's easy for me to be numb and to say, okay, enough. and then, but what I'm hearing from the people who've shared is your bravery to turn toward that discomfort. Oh, and I don't know, maybe the ovaries are about fertility. I mean, just think about what that might symbolize or might embody, just fertileness and our ability to have it, to experience it all. Our life is all of it, everything. Our culture is so much about anxiety. Let's not do it. Depression, let's not do it. Sadness, no. And so for me, I think this experience of this short meditation has really helped me myself and helped me meet clients to help them turn toward this and hold it and be with it. It's our experience. I know I'm not doing a good job at watching the time, Carolyn. So what?
You're doing a perfect job at watching the time. We'll wrap up in about 3 minutes, which is a lot of time.
Okay.
I was just going to say, in response to your question, Karen, about how this can help us, is that I think it's a reminder that there are many different ways for us to communicate our feelings. And we often tend towards the verbal, but this gives us another outlet. And I think a multiplicity of outlets is really helpful. For that.
Thank you, Karen. And I think maybe to speak to that, the idea of becoming aware of other ways to respond and to experience. It's not just intellectually with our words, which is, yeah. Thanks.
When I drew kind of like a human shape, and I started drawing that kind of jaggedy feelings that were coming up out of me, those unpleasant feelings of shame and guilt and remorse and wish I could have done, etc. And then through that guided meditation, to really imagine that stuff, the guided meditation you gave us, I felt like, those are the same energetic feelings I can use for good. And so then I started they morphed from a jaggy feeling to more like how can I send my jaggy feelings, turn them into something good and turn them into the things that counter all of my jaggy feelings. I can do something good with my energies. Even if it's too much coffee, too much nervous energy, there's ways I can push them out for good.
Well, yeah. So all of that at the same time. So pushing it out, but also gathering it in. That's what I'm hearing. So that idea of turning toward that jaggy feeling that doesn't necessarily feel that good, but using that as a way, as an energy to reach out, to be in the world. Yeah. Yeah. We don't have to see our jaggy feelings as negative or positive. The jaggy feelings are our feelings. And yeah. Thanks, Carolyn.
Lolly, I've seen that you're not on mute. Were you wanting to share?
I didn't realize I wasn't on mute.
Okay, I just wanted to check in.
No, it's all right. Well, actually what I have is kind of a combination of feelings that I had that I wrote down, kind of like help. When I thought about the marches and the situation and with our dear friends and folks that are of color, and I've just felt this help And then the COVID and the mask and the hat and all the stuff that you have to put on to protect yourself. It's like, it's anger. And it was anger that I was feeling. Mm-hmm. And I don't know that I portrayed it as well drawing it, but I do have a couple of stick figures here. But then there was the feeling when I first noticed the announcement of our vice president to be. And I was so taken aback about what happened to me that I'll share it. I felt in my entire body an and then I said, oh, what was that? I didn't realize how anxious I was and how uptight I was and how angry I was about everything. And then this feeling that came over my entire body from my head to my toe. So that I portrayed as a little brook traveling down, and the song, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Perfect. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Wonderful. Thank you, Lolly.
Thank you, Lolly.
I think that our time for the art therapy is coming to a close, but I believe Karen has a poem that she can share that will put a little bow on our experience.
Yes. So this is a beautiful poem by Lucia Clifton. And if you don't know who she is, I really encourage you to look her up. There's her face at the bottom of the screen. This is a thank you for all of you for joining in with this today, and just to take in this poem, Blessing the Boats. May the tide that is entering even now the lip of our understanding carry you out beyond the face of fear. May you kiss the wind, then turn from it, certain that it will love your back. May you open your eyes to water, water waving forever. And may you, in your innocence, sail through this to that. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for having me today.
Wonderful. Thank you. That was just relaxing and nourishing and fulfilling in so many ways. Thank you so much, Karen Misseldine.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
And now is the time to extinguish the chalice. So please join me in extinguishing the chalice, reading the text printed in the bulletin and posted on the screen. As flame is to spirit, so spirit is to breath, and breath to song. Though we extinguish the flame in this sanctuary, may we tend it in our hearts until we meet again.
Thank you, Karen. I really needed this a lot.
You're welcome, Jean. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome, Nancy. That's Nancy's voice.
Thanks, Karen.
Thanks, Sue. You're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Carolyn, did you want to say anything else before I play the final song about the coffee drop-in chat?
Oh, yeah. If you didn't get the message at the beginning, we are going to try a special Zoom after service. And if you are interested in joining us for a little post-service chit-chat grab a cup of coffee, just put your email in the chat, and I will send those people directly an email link to an 11:15 post-service chat, coffee chat. And before we say goodbye, was there anything in the chat that I missed that we needed to ensure audio-only participants get to hear?
Well, Jean already kind of paraphrased this, but I feel I should read exactly what she wrote because it's so funny. Thank you. This was a wonderful release of some of the anger I have felt at this whole COVID crap. I love that phrasing. It was really was good.
Thank you, Jean.
I certainly could have chosen other words, but I decided not to.
I want to say thank you to Karen Esterl for tech assistance today, to Nancy Berry for reading, to Lali Madriguera for reading and for singing her beautiful a cappella song, to Otter Dreaming for music recording and production support, to the UU Board of Directors, and to Karen Misseldine for being our speaker today. Please join us on 8:30 with Julie Berg-Raymond from the Decorah newspapers for a rich talk about rural media's role in democracy. And on 9:13, we will be meeting in person at Twin Springs. We will wear masks and remain over 6 feet apart with hand sanitizers. And if you'd like to know more, email Otter Dreaming, and there will be more details to come. We hope that all of you have a wonderful Sunday. We're about to end this virtual gathering, but please continue to stay in touch with one another throughout the week until we come together again. While we're meeting every other week, you may want to attend the Church of the Larger Fellowship, the online UU congregation that began decades ago as Church by Mail. They live stream a service every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central. Visit questformeaning.org and click on worship. Those are all of my announcements.
All right. Shall I play Mavis Staples?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yes. And
All right.
yourselves a butterfly hug for the day.
Thank you, Karen.
We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. Union is behind us. We shall not be moved. The union is behind us. We shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. We're fighting for our freedom. We shall not be moved. Fighting for our freedom. We shall not be like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. shall not be moved like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved.
Thank you, everybody. Take care.